Good evening, everybody. I wanted to tell you a story. Well, that's a strange way to start a video, isn't it? I'd like to tell you a story. Let's talk about Joseph from the Bible, in Genesis. Now, some may know that I'm a prepper to a certain degree, and I have aspirations to prep even more. Not because of some zombie attack or anything like that you see on TV or anything like that. I think one should be a prepper just to be prepared for anything to happen. Not so much the end of the world, but any kind of catastrophe can hit. Now, I had made a video previously about born-again Christian preppers versus secular preppers, and there's a lot of similarities. And where in the Bible does it talk about prepping? And Joseph, in my opinion, is a good example of a prepper. Now, those who've read Joseph, they know about the dreams and the interpretation of dreams, and that the king had, and that he talked about the kine eating the kine, and so on and so forth, and the baker and the butler. But I was reading through, and I don't know why I didn't notice this particular verse before, and that's a fascinating thing about reading the Bible over and over again. You never know what you're going to find the second time that you go through it, or the third time, or the fourth time. Now, I was intrigued by this one because we knew he was prepping and so forth, and there's a lot of talk about silver and gold and how money is not going to have any value at one point. Well, let's look at this particular verse. It's in Genesis chapter 47, verse 7. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. So, we know then that money fails. So when people say, there'll be money or silver, then money can't crash too much. Well, biblically speaking, it can. And then we have the Great Depression. Money failed. So the Bible is correct. Now, if we read the Bible and followed by the Bible, I believe we would not have had a stock market crash and had a Great Depression and have all those people with nothing, because they would have been prepared, biblically speaking. That's my opinion. Some might, obviously, you can't save everyone. But let's look before that in verse 14. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Now, past that, it also talks about how they bought land with food. So, you can have money. It means nothing. Doesn't mean there was no money there. But there was nothing to buy. There was no system in place. No one had money, no one could buy certain things. There were no stores. So there were no general stores, and the shekel couldn't get what it once could at one point in time, or whatever the particular currency was. So it is in my opinion that Joseph indeed was a prepper, understood being a prepper, because he being a biblical man, a godly man, knew to be a prepper. He was given wisdom by God to be a prepper. So it says that money will fail, and food is what everybody's going to want. And notice how today they're attacking the food. It's not so much the money, so much the silver, the dollar, rather gold. They're attacking supplies of food. They're genetically modifying food. They're destroying food, so you can't even count on that anymore. So be a prepper, especially if you're a born-again Christian. Joseph was. Well, that's my video on that. I appreciate you tuning in. Have a beautiful night, and God bless.